To be honest, like I would say halfway through, man, there were some nights where I couldn't sleep at night. I wanted to give up.
You're not 100% done with everything here. What's on the bucket list? What's on the checklist that's left to finish up?
Really, I just got to do a good punch list and go around and make sure everything's dialed in.
You said that you were here almost every day.
Just about every day.
What was the most challenging part about designing the build?
The engineering, the architectural drawings, and dealing with the township. That was the biggest holdup. Probably could have done it in 3-4 months if it wasn't for that.
So let me get this right. So you have 2 bays that you put into the building, and you had to reframe it and do the whole 9?
Yeah, they cut out the block. They reinforced it with a steel beam.
Oh, you put steel beams in?
Steel beams, yeah.
Holy shit! No wonder they gave you a hard time. That's not a small project.
Yeah, we don't want the building to collapse, you know.
Did you have to knock down any walls or anything to get this?
Yeah, we did some very extensive demo in here. There was a lot of walls we took down. There was 14,000 square feet of ceramic tile we took out of here. We had to bring in heavy equipment. I had about 30-yard dumpsters.
30-yard dumpsters?
Yeah, I was in here with a bobcat just taking up tile, and it was a lot of work.
Getting the permits took the longest. You polished the floors, you put lighting in. The lighting, I walked in, I was like, holy crap, it's really bright, but when you go into the lobby, it's bright white. You come out here, it's pitch black. Did you have somebody that just came in and like helped you design this a little bit, or I think you?
No, I kind of envisioned it and just went with my own design.
What inspired you to design it?
I've just always been a fan of black and gray, and I was gonna do the showroom originally in black and gray as well. And then, you know, I've been visiting different retail stores, and I got a lot of inspiration from Apple stores.
Yeah.
So we recently tinted an Apple store around one of our shops, you know, and I was just completely inspired by it.
You got the Apple vibe as soon as you walk in.
Everything white everything. It kind of worked out. I like it.
I know the answer to this question, but did it go as you planned, as you expected it would go?
It went better than planned.
With the design?
With everything, because, you know, I didn't plan on going this crazy, but once you do one thing, now you got to do the next, and I just kept going and, you know, until we're here today.
Years ago, did you plan to have a 16,000 square foot standalone building with a wraparound parking lot?
I was thinking originally like 10,000 square feet, and I wasn't thinking on a main highway. We're on a main highway.
Yeah.
We get about 100,000 cars a day that pass by, and I'm in the middle of an auto mall with 15 automotive dealerships.
You've moved your main location here, but you have 3 total. You had kind of a distance to walk in between.
It was a little bit of an issue with management, making sure that we can oversee quality control, things of that sort. So we had 3 buildings, a total of about 9,000 square feet in our Williamstown shop. So we almost doubled that by moving over here. And now we have the efficiency to get vehicles in and out faster. And we've noticed it right away. Yeah. We're getting done earlier. Cars are getting done faster. You know, I have my management team. They're able to oversee everything a lot easier. We quality control better. Just everything's better all the way around. So,
what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge now that this is up and running?
I would say the biggest challenge, we got to fill it with a lot of cars. You know, we have a lot of space. So,
100 cars a day is the new target, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think if it was 100 collectively, like whether they're flat glass jobs or ceramic coatings, PPF, just that number 100 just sounds good, you know? I think it would be profitable too.
When you first launched your first location, how big was that one?
I've had multiple buildings when I first started. Actually, my very first building, 400 square feet, it fit 1 bay and it fit 1 car, and I had to move the car to the left to tint the right side of the vehicle, and I had to move it to the right to open the doors to tint the left side of the vehicle.
How long have you been in the industry?
I've been in the industry 24 years. I started in 2000 washing cars for $5 an hour.
$5.
$5 an hour, man.
So you were a detailer first?
I was a detailer. Yeah.
I knew you were coming up close to 20 years, but I didn't know it's been that long. And
yeah, so
I didn't know it was detailing. I thought didn't you start in the car audio space too? Or you had an air?
We dabbled in it for a few years, but it just wasn't my thing. Yeah, so back in 2016, we became an Expel dealer. I stopped doing car audio. I stopped doing truck accessories, auto accessories, and I decided to focus on the 4 main profitable services that we offer, which are are remote starts, window tint, paint protection, ceramic coating.
So, and I mean, it paid off, obviously.
Yeah. So more so moving forward, it's window tint, paint protection, ceramic coating, and we just started a marine division, dynamic marine protection.
And you're doing flat glass.
And we're doing flat glass as well. Yeah.
How important is the marine division for you right now?
I think it's really going to be a big growth spurt for us, and there's a big market for it right now, and I think it's going to be good.
So flat glass, this new massive location, marine, like how do you manage all of this? And I know that you're a serial entrepreneur. You have other projects too that you're doing, but how are you managing all of this?
So we have managers in each space, each division, so that's obviously helpful. Each location has their own general manager. Created a lot of systems that are in place to make things run smoothly and be efficient.
What would you consider as your biggest challenge?
Honestly, I would say hiring help, man. Just finding the right people that have similar mindsets.
What do you do? How do you attract those people?
To be honest, most of my team are family members, and they see my vision and they do really well with me, and I try to take care of them the best I can.
Yeah, let's go back to the beginning, because you said that you had this 400 square foot shop. That Ray Van Dexter, did he plan to have 3 locations and one of them be 16,000 square feet?
When I started, I told myself I didn't want the headaches and the things that come along with having a building this size and 20 employees and 3 locations. I kind of wanted more of the easier life where I maybe had a couple employees, 1 location. And I think just over time with my marketing efforts, I learned a lot of marketing over the years, and I was able to dial things in as I went along, and here we are today. And you know, a lot of it too is the quality work we put out and taking care of our customers.
Yeah, you guys are one of the highest reviewed shops.
Yeah, we have over 1,600 reviews. If you count all 3 shops, we have over 1,600 5-star reviews.
When you look back at the last 24 years, what would you say is the one marketing strategy that was just the go-to thing, or did you build a brand? Did you focus on Google? Did you focus on social media?
So to be honest, I feel like I really started to get traction once Google AdWords started to become popular. I was like the only one on Google AdWords for this area, for window tint, and then remote starts. Those were kind of the 2 services that we started on Google with, focused on Google at first, and then we did MySpace. That was actually really good.
Get out of here. You did MySpace? What did you do on MySpace?
Well, we had a business page, and we got a lot of customers from there. Yeah.
So why have you always been so vested in marketing? Like when did you decide like that's what's going to get me to the next level?
I mean, if you look at any of the biggest brands in the world, they're marketing companies. It doesn't matter what they manufacture. It could be cell phones, whatever it is. They're always a marketing company first. So to get anywhere in business as an entrepreneur, you have to have good marketing. Yeah. I think it's really important. And I'm sure you can, agree with that, being your own marketing company.
I mean, that was the whole focus, But I like what Mike always says. I feel like I've said this so many times, because it's just so simple to understand it. It doesn't matter if you make the best burger in town if nobody knows you make the best burger in town. Best known beats best product every time. Right. And you guys are absolutely the best known. I've talked about you guys with other shop owners all over the country, and they know the Dynamic name, they know the Ray Van Dexter name, or they've at least heard of you. Yeah. They've heard of you. So I'm excited to see what everybody says in the comments about this shop, because this thing is nuts. You clearly don't have to do this. You didn't have to open up this shop. You could have just been kicking back, relaxing. You have a beautiful family, beautiful property, beautiful businesses. I mean, this building's gorgeous. Why are you still pushing so hard, man?
I'm 43 years old. I'd like to potentially retire by the time I'm 50.
Are you sure? I've heard a lot of people say that, and then they get this idea and they're like...
Or partially retired to where I'm not here every day. Maybe I'm out on vacations, but my team is doing their thing, And I feel like I could do that now.
Yeah, your team's dialed in. When I came here, they were working, they're systematized, everything was clean, and then you came in and you said that something was like, I need to organize this. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, everything is spotless here. You have a brand new facility, so I can see you guys, you have a well-oiled machine here, man. You really did.
I went from a job making quite a bit more money to doing car detailing for $5 an hour, not because of the money, but because I enjoyed working on cars.
What made you, I didn't know about that. So what were you doing before you started detailing?
I did many different things. So I was in charge of a whole warehouse for for Aetna US Healthcare. Dabbled a little bit in sales, got to know that aspect, and I think that helped me a lot in my entrepreneurial journey.
I talk about sales day and night. Sales and marketing, I live and breathe it, sleep it. It's what I'm passionate about because it's what helps spark growth, right? Do you still actively work on your sales knowledge and skills, or?
To be honest, my team handles most of that, but I get involved with some things.
Where do you go for that source of knowledge so you can get better?
Obviously, there's a lot online. There's audiobooks. I follow some people like Andy Frisella. Yeah, I love that guy. There's many different ones that I follow.
There's a lot of people that would never, they'd be intimidated to even try and do something like this.
Yeah, it definitely was a lot for sure. To be honest, like I would say halfway through, man, there were some nights where I couldn't sleep at night. I wanted to give up, It was just a lot. Financial stress, and I had a lot of people on my side, and I couldn't let everyone down, And not only did I do this for myself and my family, but I did it for my team so I could further their growth. So I put it all on the line, and we got to the finish line, and it feels good. I think that's the fun part of this business is scaling, For me, it's just really fun. And like you said, I'm a visionary, and I see the big picture, and I could see myself with 10 or more locations, I want them to be privately owned. I don't really want to franchise or have license agreements. I just want to have them as my own shop.
Your shop, your brand, what you've been.
And invest in my employees and give back.
What would you say to someone who's just jumping in the industry right now?
I would say at first focus on quality, making sure the workmanship's there. And after that, the next is marketing. And, we all fail in the beginning, and I think it's just getting back up and getting back to it and just pushing to be successful. It's not going to happen overnight. This took me 20 years to get to this level of growth, but I also did it from scratch. I didn't have any investors, used all my own money. I never took a bank loan. Just do what you know and do it the best you can.
How important is leadership in your opinion?
Leadership's very important. I think as an entrepreneur, some entrepreneurs don't really put any focus or emphasis on it, and I feel like it's very important.
What makes a good leader?
Someone that is a team player and they get involved with their team members and really push them to grow,
Yeah.
Without them growing, I'm not going to grow.
You got to invest in them. You have to. Everybody has goals for themselves, and we're so good as entrepreneurs and as leaders setting our own goals. Like I know what I'm going to do this week, this month, this quarter, this year, but what is your team doing this month, this quarter? Are you helping them put some goals together? When you plant that seed for the vision of where we're going, do they see the same vision, right? Are you helping them goal set so they know that you guys are growing this thing together? I feel like that's very important. It's huge, man. I think it's huge. I've become familiar with this term called servant leadership recently.
Okay.
And a couple of people probably know where I got that from, but the way that it was described to me is like, why are you deciding where your company's going?
Right.
That was the question that was asked to me. And you think like, well, it's my company. But that's not what gets you to the next level. Like that's what gets you started. But eventually, once you start building a team, you build it for your team. You build it with your team. Is it hard to get this many people on the same page with you?
Definitely is. I think it's a balancing act, between the day-to-day operations and then also where are we all going with growth.
Well, let's talk about this. Because we were talking off camera, you're going to come out to this year's conference. You're going to be there, right? You're going to be in Houston?
Absolutely.
It's a lot easier than going all the way to Las Vegas. Are you still going to SEMA?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I'll see you in Houston. Guys, the conference is October 5th and 6th this year. The 90-day countdown has started, and the super early bird ticket sales on sale right now. But you're going to be there, and then I'm going to see you again in SEMA about 4 weeks later.
Yes, sir.
This is your first conference.
Yeah.
This is your first conference. I might pull you on stage. I don't know. I might pull you up on stage. They got to see it. No, I appreciate you and letting me come in. And I think this trip was long overdue. I've wanted to come out. Absolutely. I've wanted to come out and see Dynamic Tint for a long time. Is there anything you want to say to the Automotive community?
I would just say, guys, just focus, and every day you're going to get better. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail, and you just got to keep getting up and do your thing, and things will get better as you go along.
I love it. We'll see you guys next time. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you guys subscribe.